backstage at the Parklands at Kendal Colony with Martyn Walsh from the Inspiral Carpets. You were great on stage today, Martyn.
Thank you very much today. It was a good, hot, sweaty show.
Yeah, of course. All the good ones are.
It was nice having a bit of a special guest coming on with Tim from Charlatans joining us. That was really, really nice. It's been a really, really, really good weekend.
The crowd was massive. We couldn't even get in.
I know, yeah.
We had to be in the back.
It's been a weekend where we did, on Friday we did a set over at Tim Peaks.
Yeah,
and that's now available on vinyl.
It's available on vinyl.
Yeah. Limited edition, but no, that was great. So that set got recorded on the Friday, available to buy on Sunday morning.
Yep.
So no,
They
brilliant.
recorded it on the Friday, and then by the Sunday, they had them there.
Yeah,
Buy as a record. Less than 4 hours.
I have no idea how they do it.
You don't know. You were in the toolbox.
It baffled me how it's done. It's all studio trickery, studio voodoo, genuine. Just it's fantastic. It's great that we've got that. So. And it's been a good weekend overall, really.
What are some challenges you've had to face, both as an individual and as a member of the band?
It's really weird. I mean, I think the music industry more than anything has had to deal with the fast-moving pace of technology.
Yeah.
Because when we first released our, although weirdly, all our first releases were on vinyl and cassette.
Yeah.
You're saying, you don't know what one
I
is.
don't
No, you
know
don't know what one is. You don't know what one is.
Don't undermine me, Martyn. I know. I've got a record player in my living room. Yeah, I own a tape.
So basically, vinyl, cassette, CD, that sort of stuff, and then obviously the massive impact of the internet.
Yeah, absolutely.
MP3s. I mean, when we first started with our fans, we've always tried to keep in touch with fans. We did fan mail.
Yeah.
Literally wrote to people, whereas now it's 24/7.
So
I think that's been a challenge. I know you appreciate that's a challenge for young bands as well. Trying to keep up to date with what people expect. I think and managing that. I think it's really difficult to try and. For me personally, I like the fact that sometimes there's a little bit of mystique about a band. I don't necessarily want to know what my favourite band had for breakfast, really.
That parasocial relationship that helps make the music what it is.
So I get it. I get why maybe people want the insight into bands, but I just don't know how far you can end up going where after a bit there's no...
Yeah, you don't need to know what Ed Sheeran has for his tea.
Not really,
it's not needed.
No, I know he's a very, very fussy eater.
Oh, incredibly.
Yeah.
That's why he collaborated with Ketchup to make it just the way he likes it.
Right.
That's true. That is true. So, as you mentioned, having to do all that, you think having a community of people around you who like music?
Well, I think so. I mean, even today and over this weekend, we've had a community really of people. We've worked really close with the guys at Tim Peaks.
Yeah.
And that is not just Tim, Burgess, who's done an absolutely fantastic job, but all the crew there at Tim Peaks, and you've got Nick and you've got Paul, who have been really, really. One thing that's really good is people just pulling together and making things happen.
Yeah.
But actually, that starts really with the band.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where we're not, we don't expect somebody to go and get me a fresh kind of beer or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? After a bit, we're making music. And so you do need a community of people where you can rely on other people, because ultimately, if you look at, I know we're on video now, but you look around us, there's miles more people involved in getting 5 Herberts on stage than there is the 5 Herberts on stage, you know what I mean? And so you've got to make sure that you do sort of forge relationships with people, because for any musician, really, there's 2 things you've got control over. That's the songs that you write and the relationships that you forge. Everything else, it's at the whim of whatever. Do you know what I mean? Totally out of your control. You've got you've got labels changing.
Yeah.
You've got gigs changing. You've got all these other people and relationships and businesses and all that sort of stuff. But the only 2 things you've got: the songs that you write and the relationships that you have. And
I think those relationships you have can only ease your career from there.
Well, I'm really fortunate that I've got really, really good friends that go back to 1988 when I first, you can, if you're a knob in the music industry, you have to be really fucking good at what you do. Do you know what I mean? You know, a lot of people say don't be a twat because, you know, it's, you know, you've got to be really, really careful because, you know, be careful on the way up because you don't know who you're going to meet on the way back down, you know. And so, yeah, I think community is a really, really, really undervalued aspect of the music industry. But I've got to be, I do think it needs to be organic. I don't think you can force feed or a community really, or create, you know, like
it's got to form itself. That
exactly.
making it happen.
I'm not really a big fan of, you know, creative quarters set up by the council and things like that. I think you've got to be very, very careful about that. You know, I think you need to be, you know, making sure that everybody's on the same page, and you know, ultimately it's a very, very, very fickle industry, that the music industry that you're getting into. So, you know, you do have to be mindful that you have to rely on other people, really.
Well, thank you very much, Martyn. I think we've about summed up everything we've got to said. And the best quote there was, be nice to everyone on the way up, because you don't know who you're going to bump into on your way down.
If you go down,
if you do go down, you
might just keep
if
going
you
up.
ever do go down.
If ever you do
go down.
hot air balloon, yes. Thank you very much. Are we doing?